If you live in the United States, the flag is everywhere, but not always in the same way. For some people, it's a badge of pride. For others, it's become shorthand for something, well, louder. I mean, this is America after all. And you'll hear Americans call it either the Old Glory, the more literal name is the Stars and Stripes, and that one at least tells you what you're looking at. So for today, I'm going to probably stick with Stars and Stripes, because reclaiming the Old Glory sounds, well, rather dramatic, but reclaiming the Stars and Stripes just sounds like a laundry day, to be fair. Back in the 1950s and 60s, the American flag symbolised optimism, unity, even progress. After 9/11, it returned again, a rallying image of resilience. But in recent years, it's taken on a whole new job: brand identity. You see it at Trump rallies, on bumper stickers, in front of houses with "Don't Tread on Me" signs. It's the same flag, just a different message. Meet Michael Green, a founder of Flags for Good, explains why he started it and how he sees attitudes towards the US flag shift over time.
Well, hey, I'm Michael Green, and I started Flags for Good back in 2020. The Black Lives Matter movement had kicked off in America, and I had wanted to buy a flag for that and couldn't find one that wasn't sold by a company that also sold like Confederate flags and things like that. I was like, man, I wish there was a company that sold only what they believed in. Just said, why not? I have some time. So I figured that would be my 2 week pandemic project. And here I am 5 years later.
Michael's company makes ethical, cause-based flags, the kind people fly to say, we stand for something good. So when someone like him notices the national flag becoming divisive, it's worth paying attention. During the Trump years, the Stars and Stripes wasn't just patriotic, it was a political branding: rallies, convoys, t-shirts, even flag-themed rifles. The flag became backdrop of a movement, and in doing so, it stopped being neutral. And when one side uses something that much, it starts to feel like theirs.
The right owns the American flag and the left does not. A lot of countries, especially in Europe, have like a civil version of the flag and then they have a governmental version of the flag. And we don't. We only have one symbol, and that comes with its pros and cons, right? And I
Mm.
think when people start disagreeing with the government here, the flag is, like I said, the only tangible symbol of that. And so not flying it is kind of their way to signal that. But and I think during the first Trump administration, we had 4 years of people going, oh, I disagreed with Bush, I disagreed with Reagan, whatever, but I still was proud to be an American. Now I
Yeah.
am getting to the point where I do not want to be associated with anything that this guy is saying or doing. And so I think it's just the polarity of Trump and who he is and his brand of Americanism
Mm.
that people are just like, absolutely not.
Right.
That this is the line that I will not cross.
Polls back it up. A 2025 Economist YouGov survey found that 57% of Americans say Republicans are more likely to display the flag, and just 4% said Democrats. Even the stars are now looking partisan. And for many on the left, the flag started to feel off limits. Not because they stopped caring about America or the USA, but because they didn't like the company it was keeping. Fast forward to October 2025, and thousands of Americans took to the streets under one message: no kings. Their banners, posters, and flags carried a single message: that patriotism and democracy belong to everyone. It wasn't just about rejecting the flag, it was about reclaiming it. Because when a national symbol starts looking like a party logo, well, you've got a problem.
So I went to the No Kings here in Indianapolis. There were a lot of American flags. I think in those types of demonstrations, people try to reclaim it and say like, because there is a narrative that Trump is pushing, that he kept calling the No Kings protests the I or hate America protests or whatever. And so people are trying to show that like, no, this is the most patriotic thing we could be doing.
Mm.
And so in those moments they will use the flag, but I mean when it comes to like putting a sticker on your car or flying it at your house or something, I don't think people on the left do that. But I was recently at NAVA, the NAVA meeting, and the term floating signifier kept coming up as a way to describe flags. And like, it is a floating signifier of what it means. And during our very unique election process, like there would be Trump flags, right? Like Trump 2024 or whatever it was. And then you're kind of vying to own the American flag almost. Like, you know, people will still fly Trump flags, but no, they get to claim the American flag for at least these 4 years.
And people in the USA are buying American flags again, not to declare loyalty, but to redefine it. For some, that means flying it alongside pride colours or Black Lives Matter banners. For others, it just means hanging it back up without irony. Here's what the numbers say. A 2024 SSRS poll found that nearly half of Republicans display the US flag most of the year. Among Democrats, it's fewer than 1 in 5. That's not because they hate it, it's because symbols lose meaning when they're monopolised. And researchers at the University of Chicago even found that just seeing the US flag can subtly nudge people towards the conservative viewpoints, which means, theoretically, the 4th of July could change outcomes of midterms. Imagine trying to explain that to a founding father. Can the flag come back from this? Maybe. There's a growing effort to reframe what patriotism means, not as obedience, but as participation, loving your country enough to want it to improve.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is history. There's a lot of good history around America. During the Civil War, they told Lincoln, like, hey, maybe we should take the stars off the flag and blah, blah. And he said, no, like, they are still part of our country, and that's what we are fighting for. The fact that, and I kind of said this in my TED talk, like the fact that the American flag has always been a, hey, join us. Hey, let's add another star. Hey, like, you're welcome. Like, not to mention the way that we took things, it has always been a symbol that's meant to grow with whatever the country is. So it is redeemable, I think. It has been used to do some very dark things in the past, but that doesn't mean we need to change it. It means that we just need to educate. I think it's redeemable, and maybe at least my first instinct is to use how many times in history that the flag has been used to unify after a certain event or a certain dark period in America's history. But that's about as far as that's the only thing I could think of, because boy, I even just the idea of reunifying seems so far from reality right now.
Maybe the flag isn't left or right, but maybe it's a mirror. And right now, that mirror is showing a very divided reflection. But mirrors aren't political, they just show what's already there. From a flag's perspective, it never chose a side. We did, the people, and maybe it's time that we shared it again. And if you're wearing it on a pair of shorts, well, you've probably missed the point entirely. I'm Tarath, this is Flags in Focus, and this was Reclaiming Old Glory. Let me know in the comments, what does Stars and Stripes mean to you? Because if there's one thing we can still agree on, it's that symbols only matter because people do. And if you want to see the full interview with Michael, because he did say a little bit more than what you've seen here, then you need this video over here, where I basically used the unabridged meeting, which is a little bit longer than this particular episode. Be seeing you